Ryan Weiser. I'm a Jesuit volunteer here in Seattle. I work for Providence Hospice of Seattle in the Transitions Unit.
We serve folks affected with life-limiting illness, which may or may not be terminal.
My role as a Jesuit volunteer with Providence Transitions is basically a volunteer role. I have no agenda, which is probably the best part about my job.
We started in 2003, and we've had a Jesuit volunteer ever since.
And help them do whatever it is that they want done that day. Whether it be grocery shopping, weeding, being read to, hanging out, taking their kids with them to the doctor just so they can have peace of mind, going to the beach, going bird watching. I think
more importantly, kind of emotional support to deal with the ups and downs of living with a terminal and life-limiting illness. Coming to forks in the road, trying to figure out what their goals are, what their hopes are for their care, what their concerns are, what information they need, and trying to put people in the right direction to get that.
People's initial reaction to having a JV on the scene is just utter joy. They can't believe that it's a free program and that you can come once a week or once every other week and just help out.
You know, he's got a lot of energy, but he's here to find out, how can I be helpful to you today, this week? What's important to you? And people get that, and they feel that, and they say, when can he come again? And we have Ryan flying in a lot of different directions and trying to help a lot of folks.
My client base fluctuates a lot. I get to see a whole lot of new faces, but it is great because a couple of them stick around throughout the whole year, and they've witnessed JVs year in, year out, and they kind of break them in according to my boss. So it's really great to meet those people.
You know, it's been amazing to see each JV come in and perceive the work a little differently, bring their own strengths, their own interest, their own curiosity, their own gifts to the work.
You know, they have a JV every year, and then a couple of the JVs come back, and it's just kind of like the Jesuit volunteer values is something that is really important to Providence.
Our hospice program has a lot of FJVs working, and that's been a lot of fun to find that out.
Having been a former JV myself, I have to say it's just really exciting to have his presence here.
I think it's really awesome to just be able to relate to the people that know what you're going through.
We're always encouraged as JVs to say, well, what do you want to do? What do you want to make of this year?
JVC helps Providence serve a lot more patients at home.
I almost wish that every social service agency could have a JV.
We're a pretty small program, and you know, funding is always tight, and we would only be able to see somebody every 3 or 4 months, maybe, you know, if we didn't have a JV who could do that.
I think people sometimes think that hospice and everything's about surviving, but this year I've really learned that, like, despite whatever diagnosis you have, like, there's still time to thrive.
So thanks, Ryan, for all you've done this year, and we look forward to whoever comes to us next year.
Like, once surviving is no longer the option, that there's an end point, that it's like you can still go on and live each day to its fullest.
Well, Ryan's probably embarrassed for me to say this, but it's been a delight for every client that's gotten to know him. People talk about how genuine he is, how warm he is.
It's taught me a lot in what I take for granted and how I'm going to live the rest of my life.
We couldn't do all we do if we didn't have a Jesuit volunteer to be that real human side with no other agenda, you know, except kind of supporting somebody's quality of life and being there for emotional support. So it allows us to reach a lot more people.